Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement, a channel devoted to sharing the craft of repairing, restoring, and modifying vintage electronic gear, and other random stuff. There are two toilets in Mr. Brown's basement. One day, as I was preparing to leave, I happened to flush toilet number 1. Toilet number 2, which fortunately wasn't being used at the time, belched. If the lid had been closed, it would have done this. But the lid wasn't closed, so it did this instead. You may want to pause for a moment to think about that one. No, you don't. It wasn't pretty. Is Mr. Brown's basement haunted with ghosts? With gremlins? With dust bunnies? To understand what's going on, you need to see a simplified map of the plumbing system above Mr. Brown's basement. Each toilet is connected to a vertical pipe that starts above the roof and ends in the basement. The open end at the top allows air to enter or leave so that the pressure cannot build up inside or outside the system. Imagine a straw filled with water. If the top of the straw is closed with your finger, the water runs out very slowly. But if it's opened, then the water can drain freely. Not a big issue with the straw, but a huge issue with wastewater in a house. But if water is belching the water up, that must mean that there is more air than can escape through the openings at the top of the pipes. Does that mean that one or both of those openings are blocked? No, there is one more important place where air can escape, and that's the sewer through the underground waste pipe to the street. And the only way to check that is to open up the sewer line cleanout in the basement. Yes, Mr. Brown's basement. Opening the cleanout and looking for a blockage is not my idea of fun. When you're beyond your skill level or out of your comfort zone, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Unfortunately, they're unlisted. The Maytag man? No, he's so bored he turned off his phone. How about the Chief of Control?
Hello, Chief. Max.
But I don't have a cellular shoe. How about a plumber? Yes, a plumber. He brought his motorized plumber snake and started pulling out treasures. And then he pulled out another one, and another one. But the treasures were too big for that snake, so he got a heavy-duty one. So what are these treasures, and where are they coming from? Let's go back to the simplified map of the plumbing system and focus our attention on the pipe that leads to the street. This pipe was put in over 90 years ago. As it happens, this pipe is made out of clay and was laid in sections. Here's a close-up of what the pipe looks like. Each section is about 3 feet long and about 4 inches in diameter. This clay pipe was fit together with the bell end covering the spigot end of the next section. The joints between them would have been sealed with tar or cement, but over the years that sealant begins to fail and the joints begin to leak. This attracts the attention of friendly neighborhood trees whose roots grow towards the nutrient-rich water. There are approximately 16 sections of clay pipe between Mr. Brown's basement and the street, which is 15 places for leakage to occur. Happy tree, but unhappy Mr. Brown. Meanwhile, more masses of roots are being pulled out of the pipe, until it's clean as a whistle. Here's the bucket of well-packed roots. Surprisingly, there isn't much odor, which means there isn't much, mixed in with the roots. This was only a partial blockage. A full blockage would have resulted in sewage overflow in Mr. Brown's basement. Now that the mystery of the burping toilet has been solved, what do I do now? I could monitor the situation. That's another way to say do nothing and wait until it happens again. While it's an attractive option, the next blockage could be worse, and the periodic costs of calling a plumber can add up quickly. Also, no matter how cleanly a plumber works, there's always some nasty mess to clean up afterwards. I could have the old clay pipe removed. This requires a trench to be dug, pulling out the old stuff and putting in new. This will cure the problem for a very, very long time. However, the cost is high, and possibly very high depending on the complexity of the excavation. And of course, you have to wait until the utility locates have been done first. Finally, I could have a pipe installed within the existing pipe. Again, the cost is high, but it should eliminate the problem for the foreseeable future. But it's not permitted in all municipalities. It may also require some landscaping to be done depending on the technology used. Which is the best decision? It's a hard choice. What do you think? Have you had a similar mystery or experience? Leave your comments in the space below and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to Mr. Brown's Basement for more interesting and unusual videos.